What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I thank you for tuning in. Hope you're all having yourselves a great night. It's been one long effing day of cleaning things and just trying to get back to reality. The draft stealing my soul, but my God, wasn't an enjoyable one. And we broke everything down that we possibly could about that draft, everything else that we could talk about, but I told you last night I would be back. We would talk about the undrafted free agents. If you missed earlier, talked about the updated cap space, talked about DeAndre Swift's cap space, the rookie cap hits, all those things. So go check those videos out. But tonight, we're going to talk about these undrafted free agents. We'll talk about the offensive guys, and we'll talk about the defensive guys. Now, there is a rookie camp tryout, the mini camp coming up. So we'll see if he makes the squad, but we'll talk about him for a second too. So talking about all those guys, I know you guys love this show. Each year, this one always gets a lot of views. So let me know. You have any questions? You have some thoughts? Somebody you watch? You have an in-depth thought about it? Whatever is on your mind, I would love to hear it. But I hope you're all having a great night. Appreciate you tuning in. We're live here tonight. But if you're watching this later, I'd love to hear those thoughts. But let's get things going. My man Luffy in the building. Let's go. Birds twisted. Let's go, baby. And curious how we're going to do. We are not going to have 19 mil. We're going to have 13.5 mil. You can go check that video out from earlier. Broke all of that down. I know a lot of people make up stuff about the cap throughout social media. I don't know where they get all these ideas, but I break that stuff down extensively. Go to my YouTube channel, go to the playlist, Show Me the Money, and it breaks everything you would ever need to know down. But the latest two, rookie cap hits and the cap space, that will teach you everything you need to know. But let's jump right into this. Get into things with the undrafted free agents here on the offensive side of the ball. And as I had mentioned, there is a rookie mini camp tryout. So let's mention, him first, and then I'll show you the list of all these guys. We'll break these guys individually down. But Chim, come on, Chimmy. It's Mr. Chimmy Okorafor here out of Benedictine, which is in Kansas. Yeah, we'll talk about this big-ass dude, and then we'll break down these guys and have them, some offensive guys, and then a special teamer there with a few defensive players. So you see a couple of receivers, tight end, offensive lineman, punter, linebacker, and 2 corners here. So we're going to jump into it. And again, we're going to start it off with the offense here. So if you have any questions, anything you want to throw in here, please feel free to do so. Eli Ricks, no doubt, he will be an interesting prospect to watch, and we'll jump into him when we get into the defense here. Now, Chim Okorafor, as we had mentioned, could not find a gosh darn thing here on Mr. Chim here, but he's 6'6", 320 effing pounds. Look, and they had listed him as an offensive lineman everywhere I checked. I'm like, okay, so is he tackle guard? And look, didn't have much time to look up on him because I almost didn't add him, but look, I don't know too much that I could explain him, but we'll find out more if he is there doing some things at this rookie mini camp. So everything they've done before doesn't really matter. We want to see guys like this with that size. Jeff Stoutland gets his hand on him. We'll see what he can do with him. But another offensive lineman that is actually signed as an undrafted free agent was Trevor Reed out of Louisville, 6'5", 297 pounds. So maybe put on a little bit of weight here, but a big dude, and he moves really, really well. He transferred from Georgia Military College / high school. But this dude, he was one of those guys on Bruce Feldman's freak list. We had talked about, some of these guys that if Jeff Stoutland, gets his hands on him, he can really do some things with him. And I think, 24 years old, he played a few years there at Louisville. And for me, you never know what you're going to get with Stoutland because this guy played predominantly left tackle. So maybe he's that left tackle we need as a backup. He can beat out those Johnson guys and, Fred and Roderick. But I think, for me, you never know. Maybe he's a guard too. Not too much where you really don't know what Jeff Stoutland can do here. So for me, he was somebody that was good in pass protection. But I think maybe he could use a little bit of footwork, needs a little bit of work, and his technique in pass protection could use a little bit of tampering there. But again, we got Jeff Stoutland, so you never know with any of these guys. And at that size, hey, he's an undrafted free agent who's going to get a chance this summer. So it's not like, you got to lose your mind here. But you see, he gave up 5 sacks here. And look, 2 of them or I'm sorry, 3 of them this year, 2 the year before. So this kid, he's got some kind of talent. You got to look at his games, of who the competition is and everything like that. But hey, it's a summer body. That's what these guys are. But you never know. We talk about diamonds in the rough here, and I'll tell you who I think could be some of those diamonds in the rough as we go through here. And with the offensive lineman, man, you never know here. So let's keep it rolling here. Now we actually got a weapon in the house. We got a tight end here, and we talked about maybe adding to this room. Did not do that in the draft, but we did add Brady Russell, who is the nephew of Matt Russell, the senior personnel director. So I think that maybe that helped him a little bit get onto the roster, but 6'3", 252 pounds, and 10.2 yards per catch. I think, a decent receiver from the little bit that I got to see of him. I don't think he's anything too crazy. He's got some decent hands. He's got some quickness to him. He's nothing crazy. He doesn't have any kind of crazy speed or anything like that. His 40 was a 4.75, just to give you an idea there. But couldn't find too much on his, blocking. So he's going to have to be able to do that. We all know that, but maybe you could use him as an H-back a little bit, because he can catch the ball a little bit. He has athleticism, to be a run after catch kind of guy. But I don't know, man. He just needs to put it all together. I think he definitely needs some work here. I'm not sure he makes this roster, but again, an undrafted, camp body that's going to get his chance. But some weapons that are definitely intriguing here. You've got out of Clemson here to start it off, Joseph Nada, 22 years old, 6'3", 217 pounds, and over 1,200 yards there, 14.6 yards per catch, 6 touchdowns there. And I think for me, you're adding a big body dude. And in this offense, you got to have interchangeable guys. And for me, Nada, in his 4 years, he looks decent. He's a big ass dude, and he returned a few. So maybe you can find something in the return game that's always going to help somebody, because we need a kick returner, and that's something he has done before. So if you can find something there, why not? And he's an intriguing prospect because he goes up, gets the ball. Clearly, it's 6'3". He is a big ass dude, but he's kind of in the mid range with everything. He's blocking, and his route running. I just think that there are things that he's got some quickness. He's good after the catch, but strong hands. He goes up and gets it. That is definitely something he has, but he doesn't have the greatest speed. He's not somebody that look. Camp body. I know people are going to take this the wrong way, but he's got 4.54 speedy, so he's nothing crazy. But if you're looking for, a red zone threat, we've obviously got Devontae and AJ. But hey, maybe one of these guys can sneak onto the roster, push out Quez or whatever you're trying to do. But I think, in that role, we're kind of looking for a burner there and don't have much outside that. So the next wide receiver that we brought on was Jaden Hazelwood, who in 2019 played with Jalen Hurts. So I'm sure you've heard that, and that's great. But, a big body, 6'2", 215 pounds. He could definitely put on a little bit of weight, skinny dude here, and definitely sucks at blocking, something I noticed. But he's got some decent hands and route running. I think he's great in contested catch situations. So that's something that, for me, you got to have. And he's got some strength for that size. I know I said, he could put on a little bit of weight, but his tracking could use a little bit of work. But I think for me that, he's just not a guy that is creating that separation. He goes up and gets the ball, but in the NFL, that's really not going to work. This isn't a J-Jaw here. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the greatest speed either. So 4.66 speed, even a little bit slower. But to me, speed isn't everything. I'm not somebody that's a 40 watcher, like, oh, this guy's fast, so he's going to be good. No, that's not how it works. I'm not saying you guys think that, but you know how that goes. And to me, intriguing prospect, 11.9 yards per catch there. And I think if you can try to push some of these back end guys, that's great, because beyond what we've got here, I'll show you the depth chart then at the, I'll show you the offense now. Since you've seen the offensive players, we might as well take a little gander at that. And then when I show you the defensive players, I'll show you that offensive depth chart. But I added these guys on there. Chim Okorafor is not on there. Forgot to add Brett Toth in there. So, hey, sorry about that, bud. But you see here, some of the guys that were added on. Anybody that is in green, you will find. So Trevor Reed is installed there on offense. Brady Russell as a tight end, and then you got Nada and Hazelwood as those outside receivers. But Olamide Zacchaeus was brought in. He can do outside and inside work. So I mean, bringing guys in to compete, I already feel very confident about this offense. So look, just guys that are going to push others, and I'm perfectly fine with that. This happens every single year. So that is the offensive guys. Now we're going to jump into the defensive and the special teamer. And I'm excited about that special teamer because, well, let's be real. We've been begging for an effing punter. So appreciate you tuning in, my man Sean. Liz in the building. Let's go. Appreciate you all tuning in here tonight. My man Justin. And look, if you guys enjoy the content, you can definitely hit that like button. You can subscribe down below. I appreciate you, my man Justin, and always trying to bring you that content. And hopefully you guys enjoyed all that draft content, but we're finishing it off here with the undrafted guys. And if anybody else is signed, we'll talk about them. But I will go through who the free agents remaining are. And I know we've already had the trade talk, but maybe I'll make another show just talking about those guys again quickly and giving you an update on how we can trade for those guys, the updated cap space. We have money, so do not fear there. But look, let's get through these undrafted guys. Now we're going to get on to the defense and special teams. And we brought in a punter, and we got ourselves a bunch of long-haired guys here. You saw Hazelwood there with some long hair, and we're about to see a couple here. So look, this little young man, they call him Legatron, and I'm all about it. Aaron Sipos needs to be pushed here, 6'2", 211. That's great. But look, he's got a 43.4 yard per punt average in college, but last year he had a 44.5 yard average, and he actually made I think it was 31 extra points and 11 field goals. He didn't miss a single one, so they got him kicking too. The dude's got an effing leg on him. They call him Legatron for a reason. And look, we talked about pushing Aaron Sipos. I know a lot of people wanted to draft one, but it's like you're going to find somebody in this undrafted pool, and sure as hell enough, we get Legatron. And go watch his highlights. This dude, he's got a boot on him, and highlights aren't everything, man. But the fact that this kid, he's got the trifecta. He can do kicking, he can do punting, but he's also a kickoff specialist. I think that's fantastic. So look, he's got a chance to push Aaron Sipos. We had Dicker here last year, and we talked about, hey, maybe he pushes him as a punter too, because, that kid could do the trifecta as well. But hell, he's a Charger now, and now we're looking at this young man here to get things rolling. So I'm all about it. Zentner, get things going for the special teams. That's an area of weakness for the Eagles that I just have been too pissed off about. We're all pissed. Super Bowl, he comes back from injury. And I mean, Brent Kurtz sucked too, but dude shanks it. Tony runs it back all the way to the one. That drove me insane. So glad that there's some competition there. What is going on, Nina? Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you are doing well tonight. What is going on, Chris? I appreciate you as well. And very, very great weekend. Hope you all enjoyed it. Nina, Chris, Justin, Liz, Sean, everybody that's tuning in. The other Chris that was in here in the beginning. All the rest of you, Luffy, and everybody else, Twisted. I know that was in here. I appreciate you guys. Look, we are going to have a very fun off season. I know it's going to feel like 3,000 years, but I cannot wait for this season. But let's go, man. Let's go. I cannot wait, but let's jump in. And Sipos, yeah, he did. He really had his struggles, but he had a decent year before, the injury. It was like, all right, at least he's not sucking it up completely. But my God, we needed competition, and we got it. Now, on to the defensive players. We brought in a linebacker in Ben Van Sumeren. And look, we discussed this kid briefly here, actually, when we talked about those linebackers in the draft. And I know we talked about some linebackers being drafted as, an area of maybe weakness people would consider. But look, love Nakobe Dean, excited about Nicholas Morrow being brought in. And then Nolan Smith in certain packages you can use off ball. So I'm not as scared as others. I know Sean Bradley, maybe he can step it up. Christian Ellis, you've got Davian Taylor there, but you've got Van Sumeren here, and hey, you never know. We know that TJ Edwards was an undrafted kid, so 6'3", 237. Sure, you'd like him to put on a little bit of weight, but this dude runs a 4.45 40. Oh, yeah, he's got Dude, insane vertical. This dude can bench. He's tough as hell. I love this kid, and I'm actually pretty excited that he is going to be here. Maybe he pushes out one of those guys I just mentioned here, but he's actually somebody that can blitz too, and I love that. He can stop the run, and he's great at quick the read and reaction of this kid. He's somebody I feel that definitely could make this team. I know, we just found TJ Edwards a few years ago doing this, but I think that this is a kid for me. I really think that in Philly, you put on a little bit of toughness with him. Talk about, being good against the run and all those things. I think he needs that like viciousness to him, though, if he wants to be a linebacker here. So definitely could use some work. He's undrafted for a reason. You see those stats aren't jumping off the page at you or anything like that, but not too many games played, but he's got a great skill set. So you hope that Sean Desai could find a place for him, and maybe you get something out of him, and you never know here, but you hope for the best. He's not great in coverage, though, with that speed. So he definitely needs some work. But his best thing was definitely against the run and his tackling. He's definitely not somebody that, you're going to use blitzing all the time. But I think if you can coach him up, maybe you find something there. Not one of my real diamonds in the rough yet. I want to see a little bit what he's got here. But the next couple guys, I am really intrigued. And this is just like last year when we talked about Josh Jobe and Mario Goodrich. But Mekhi Gardner here. Now, 6'2", 212 pounds. So you got yourself a big ass corner. And think about this, man. This dude gets to learn under Darius Slay, James Bradbury. I mean, you couldn't ask for, a better situation. And he gets to pick where he wants to go. So clearly he wanted to come here. You see, gave up 84.2 rating there. That's not exactly the greatest, but look, not the fastest either. But I think that this kid has, he's, man, watch him. He can actually tackle. He lays hits on people. That's something I like to see out of a corner. He's somebody that maybe you want to send him on blitzes, do certain things with him, but he's a big dude. He's got long-ass arms. You can see, try to show that in the picture there, but he's somebody that I think I love seeing that out of a corner, and Sean Desai is going to love that in him, and I think he could fit in here, and maybe he finds himself a spot on the practice squad if he can't push out, because we've got a loaded cornerback room, man. You bring in Greedy Williams. I love that. You got Zach McPherson still here. You've got loads of guys. Clearly Maddox as your nickel, and Scott and Jobe and Goodrich. All those guys will be here. So we'll see them compete. But I'm really excited to have this kid in the room. So I think once he gets to the NFL, he puts hits on college kids, but you're going to have to beef him up a little bit, teach him a little bit more. And I think he will be fine. But there's definitely some things I would try to work on with him. And again, I had told you he's not fast. So maybe you try him out at a certain safety spot. If he starts hitting people, you give him that viciousness. And look, these are young men, and he's 23. Yeah, but they want to say he's old, but he's still, out of college. So I think in this room, he'll have a great chance to learn here. And I'm excited to see what he can do this offseason. And excited about the next guy, too, out of Alabama. So another SEC guy, and 21 years old. So a young man here, 6'2", and he's a slender one. Kind of looks like Devontae there, 188 pounds, but 56 rating there from the quarterback. You see allowed, and I like to see that. And this kid, one of the things, about him is he only got to play 4 games. An injury got him, and he had transferred from LSU to Alabama. So this kid, I like Eli Ricks, man. The little bit I got to see out of him, they actually played him a little bit as a box safety too, I noticed at times, but only a few times was he in the slot. But versatility is the name of the game when you get added to this defense. And one of the things about Eli Ricks is the fact that he has played in Nick Saban's defense that we talk about all the time. Talk about Vic Fangio concepts. Well, there's also going to be Nick Saban concepts. That quarters defense, that's what the Eagles will be running with Sean Desai in a corner like Eli Ricks. I think obviously knowing how to do when you are in Nick Saban's defense, you have to learn how to do all of those things. So I think it's perfect. And if he doesn't pan out again, that room is loaded. But if you can sneak a kid, he makes it on the practice squad, he gets to learn from these guys, or maybe he makes the active roster. You saw Josh Jobe make the roster last year. I think these two, they could definitely be pushing Josh Jobe, Mario Goodrich. All those guys are going to be competing for those final spots if they even can make it, because you got 4 guys definitely locked up in our 3 starters, and then Greedy Williams behind him. So, man, it's going to be fun to watch competition there, and love those signings that we had made so far in this offseason. But You guys can happily let me know down below how you're feeling about these undrafted free agents, or maybe something's on your mind about the draft, whatever it is. Let me know what you got going on up there. But look, it was a very, very great weekend. And yo, man, just doing my best. And I had somebody saying something online. They're like, yeah, there's no way you did 5 years. Like, you better show me. And I'm like, look, dude, you think you see the work I put in, you think I'm going to go back? First off, it would probably only take me about 10 minutes. But it's like, dude, you guys have been tuning in since day one. It's like, hey, man, I'm proud of the work I put in. And man, if they're pissed about the predictions about the draft, imagine if they saw my free agency predictions and how I break down the cap. So, hey, we're going to keep doing our thing, and I'm going to keep doing my thing here, but you guys keep tuning in. I'm going to keep trying to provide you with the best content I possibly can. I love all of you, man. This was the best draft I've ever had. That live stream, you guys being here with me, it was awesome. You guys are truly the best, and I can't do this without you. So thank you for tuning in throughout these past couple of months, getting ready for this. But I did all I could for you, Chris. Did everything I could to get Jalen Carter. Oh, yeah. So let me know who you want next year. But, dude, wild weekend. Loved it. And day 1, day 2, day 3. And if you guys caught that recap yesterday, that was fun. Just going through every trade, everything. It was like, that really was an insane weekend trying to keep it all together. Like, okay, this happened. Now we have this pick. And I was like typing shit wrong. I was like, oh, my God. It was insane. But I hope you all enjoyed it, man. But, yo, I like Van Sumeren. Add some weight, some viciousness, like I said, and you never know what you're going to get. Learn some coverage skills here, and look, with some coaching up, you never know what these kids could do. TJ Edwards in that same boat now. He was a tackler, but definitely needed to work on that coverage. And even when he left, I still think he could work on that coverage, but it is what it is. Look, we talked about Patrick Queen. I've told you, I think we're going to try to trade for a linebacker or safety, maybe Budda Baker, maybe a Patrick Queen. Those were my top 2 options, if you guys remember that trade show. But Devin White, he's a little bit more expensive, but he's very talented. There was a lot of guys that you guys asked me about, so I broke down every single player I could, but I told you the guys I like the most, and I told you I'll make another show about that, give you all of the guys that I think are still out there possibly to be traded, especially after the draft when you see, just like when we talked about that day before we traded Swift. The reason I made that video, they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. So clearly, just like you heard Sirianni and Howie talking, Howie told him to go watch tape. We're interested. So, yeah, man, love it. So maybe there's some more people we can talk about. And don't worry, man, I'll keep you guys entertained throughout this all season. But yeah, he's way more athletic. I was just saying in the same situation. But TJ was a smart dude, and that's why I loved him and I was excited about him as a free agent. So excited about it. And no, there's not really a free safety or strong safety in this defense. It's just hybrid safeties that have to be able to do a lot of the same stuff, and different schemes and concepts will call for different players to be used. But, you have to have that hybrid kind of thing. Now, that's what I talk about with him. And it's going to be of that mold, the nickel free safety kind of thing that you're thinking. But in this defense, that's why I took the label off of the free safety, because too many people get worked up about who should be this, that, the other thing. And don't worry, I'll be breaking down this defense too. Oh, yeah, man. He definitely lacked that. But, yeah, man, and the Eagles don't put too much emphasis on linebacker, but I like what we have here. And, we talked about having Nolan Smith as an off-ball linebacker, having the guys that we do. It will be just fine, and I think that if they want to trade for somebody, they definitely are going to. So just keep your eyes out. I will have those, any kind of news out to you as soon as it happens. But we'll see. McPherson's definitely going to get pushed here. This is going to be his final year to be, on this roster here. But I love Eli Ricks, too. I'm excited for him. Hope that he brings his best, man, because it's going to be an exciting matchup to watch those guys. I had the luxury of going to a closed practice last year and just standing. And that's why I said, I think Joe was going to make it, because I got to watch. The dude was like right in front of me. And it really at times looked like it was James Bradbury out there. And I thought, with his versatility, the fact that he could play a little bit of safety, that he could find himself on the roster. And he did, man. So guys like that, like Garner, who can provide that versatility just mentioned there by Chris there, I think, look, that's going to help you make the team. So, yeah, I'm with you 100%, guys. But, look, yeah, I just mentioned all of those guys. And look, I'll show you the depth chart here for anybody wondering. But, hey, I really appreciate that. And, look, I do my best to keep up whenever something changes. And we talked about Swift wasn't going to affect the cap much at all. And I showed you how it changes once the rookie cap hits go into effect. We're still going to have like 13.5 mil. You guys can go check those videos out. I broke it down, and I appreciate you saying that, Steven. Glad you guys enjoy that stuff, because I always enjoy knowing what's going on when the like media and the haters try to say stuff. Oh, you don't have cap. And it's like, well, yeah. Well, let me break it down for you, because we do. And it's always funny because then people are like, well, it's like they don't like facts, man. And well, I don't blame them. Let's take a gander at this old defense. And I got the undrafted kids in here. So we're going to see where the competition is. And, you know, I broke it down and you can see there's 12 starters just because I wanted to include the nickel corners, but I also, you know, wanted to have these other guys included also. You know, when you're talking about this line, we ran a 5-man front predominantly the last, you know, few years here. So I think that that's something you're going to see. So just imagine, and there's going to be a lot of times where Jordan Davis isn't on the field. You'll see 4-man fronts. So Reddick will be hand in the dirt. You'll have a 4-3 or 4-2 nickel, which you'll probably see a lot more of than 4-3. But, you know, you've got this split up so you can understand it. You've got your edge rushers at the top, the defensive ends, Sweat, Graham, Barnett, Jackson, Leo, and Robinson. You've got D tackles here and Carter, Tuipulotu, Ojomo, you know, and these guys can pass rush. They can play from the 3 to 5 technique. Carter can play all the way to the 1. He can do whatever the hell you want. He is a beast. Talk about those tackles, though. Davis, Ellis, the big boys, the run stoppers, the 2-gap beasts. So love that. And then, you know, the other D tackles, guys that can play, you know, a little bit of that 3 to 5 technique, the pass rushing kind of guys. Cox, Williams, Street on the other side. So, dude, then outside of them, when you've got edge rushers in Sweat and Reddick, oh my, and you saw the depth of Reddick, you know, Nolan Smith and the Johnson guys, they can drop into coverage, do things. But Nolan Smith, man, he can be an off-ball linebacker. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with him. So I'm all about him, man. I cannot believe we got him. Excited. So, you know, at times he could be, you know, playing over Morrow, maybe even takes that job eventually, which I think, you know, he's going to be on the field playing weak side linebacker in a lot of different packages, which I will make shows showing you all the different packages we can like shove people in different areas. And, you know, you're on the field. You don't have to substitute anyone. These people can just change positions. That's huge. So in the secondary, you see all of these corners. You got Ringo that was brought in who can try out at safety. You've got, you know, Scott and Job and Goodrich. You got Garner and Ricks here now. In safety, you've got Brown and Wallace, Evans, Sasha Ray, and McCollum. I mean, there's competition here. So I know a lot of people, you know, you have to trade here. If we don't, I mean, I'm still pretty confident in this team, excited about what Sean Desai is going to do here. But look, I don't think it is done here, the roster building. So go ahead, Howie, get out here, do your damn thing, and let's rock and roll. But that's all I've got for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the breakdown of all of these guys. But man, it's still like it hit me hard. That draft was nuts, man. It really was. So let me get to these comments here real quick. Should have gone in the 5th round. There's, you know, a lot of guys that will always fall, man. So that's what I love about it, man. And I love the draft myself. And Dallas always sucks, man. It's great. I love that part of the draft, man. It's truly, truly beautiful. And you're right. It always makes it sweeter. But I truly appreciate that, Jeff. Thank you for the kind words, my man. And hope you have yourself a great rest of your night. If anybody, seriously, you have any questions, something you want to add, please feel free to do so. But that is beautiful. And we will definitely break those guys down. I cannot wait for the draft next year. This was an awesome time with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the position by position. We broke down every damn position, and we got a lot of the guys we talked about. We got Carter, Smith, Sidney Brown, baby. I still cannot believe it, man. I cannot. We got Ringo. I mean, we talked about what this would do for the team. I'm excited about it, man. And Swift, yeah. So we'll break down this roster too. We'll talk about all those things, man. So got plenty of shows lined up for you guys. So do not fear. I will have plenty of content. I can't wait to take an in-depth look at this roster now that the guys are being added in. So, you know, I do the position by position. We'll look at all the guys, and then I'll tell you where I think we still need some players. So do not fear. That will be out. Give the coach's son a make-a-wish 5-5. Right. Yo, I like Deuce Vaughn, man. I love his game. I thought, you know, a team would definitely take a stab at him, but of course they would with his dad on the staff there. So hilarious. But yeah, he's like 5'5", man. That's wild. But yeah, I love me some Axeman Jr., dude. Let's go. And I would love to see that. You know, Well, Axeman's one of my favorite players. Got to meet him when I was a little younger. Herschel, I know he loves that story. He's letting you know, but dude, that was a great time. Seriously, my hand, his hand was like twice the size. It was so cool when I was a young kid. Love me some Trot. Doc's my dude, but Trot is right there, dude. I love him too. I don't think any of us could imagine the weekend go. Yo, it was truly, truly perfect. I mean, I thought after the first pick, I was like, oh, I'm good. I don't even care. And then at the end of the night, I'm like, oh my God, like, I really don't care. Then after the second day, we trade out. It's like, oh my, we get Steen. We made all those weird trades. Then we get Sidney Brown, and I told you what my source told me about Steen and what Stoutland told him. Stoutland loves him, thinks this dude could be the starting right guard this season. So I was like, whoa. And this dude works with the offensive lineman, literally. So yeah, I was stoked about that too. And it's like, and then the third day, you get Ringo in the fourth round. You're like, wait a damn minute. We trade up to the third pick of the day. I'm like, oh my God. Sure, we took Tanner McKee. People were pissed about that, but it's like, you know how he's going to do shit like that. Come on. And then Ojomo, we talked about him, man. The kid could have probably gone in the fifth, sixth round even. And if you remember at the start of the day, he was one of my best available. He was like in the top 10 best available. And he did not go in the fifth round. And he went to us. So I'm perfectly fine with adding to the room. So let's go. But I can't believe I'm still talking, breathing. I have lacked so much sleep. I look like I'm just apologize. I know I'm not the greatest to look at. I just hope the content's good enough for you. But I heard him after the pick Gibbs. He goes, yeah, man. And I was saying that Howie and Nick, I watched that presser where they were talking, and he told Nick right away, like, get on, watch his tape. We're going to be interested in this kid. Perfect. Love it. And if he walks, dude, you get a comp pick for him. So all about it. He cost jack shit last year of his contract. Hope he stays healthy. You give him a longer one. Same with Penny, but he and Penny paired together with Kenny. Dude, I love this running back room. I'm excited. I am. But look, Morrow is much better than Eric Wilson, and he can actually cover much quicker. And I think that, he's not the greatest. He's definitely an average NFL player, but he's in the NFL for a reason. He's a good linebacker, and I think in this scheme, he fits what's going on here. So to me, I'm hopeful for him, but I think, again, Nolan Smith will take a lot of those roles, and I think we'll use a lot more packages with him because the kid's talented and he can do a lot of things, but he'll edge rush too. So Kayvon Wallace makes a team. Well, he's going to have to try some things, maybe a little bit of, that dime linebacker doing things where he looked much better at the end of the year, actually. But, and yeah, sorry, I see you say that now at the end. But look, yeah, I agree with you. And I think that he definitely has a chance, but he's got competition here. And there's versatile guys that, you saw listed, especially the ones that are listed at nickel corner there, that bring that versatility, that can play the safety as well. So maybe some of these young guys like Gardner make it as a safety, push out some of these other guys because we need the depth there. But like Sidney Brown, that, and Reed Blankenship, Terrell Edmonds, I like the competition we have. So we'll see, but Kayvon's definitely going to get pushed here. And he really is. So he's a good depth piece, but these other guys are good depth pieces too. So who's going to bring it this summer? That's what is needed to be seen. But if you saying Ringo could move to safety, that's something I talked about. But that's I think he could play corner too for this defense. Now here's the thing: he doesn't need to, and he's got stiff hips, so that's not always something like oh yeah, you can work on that. That's kind of like part of who they are, But you hope that you can teach him to use his skill set. But he's fast as shit, man, and he's got he's great athleticism, so he's a good player. But I think you're going to find ways to use him. And I think in Sean Desai's defense, there's going to be definitely work for him as an outside corner if something were to happen, someone gets injured. But again, these guys have an opportunity to learn from Slay and Bradbury. And I think it's going to be great for them. So we're going to hope they get the best out of these young men. And I think that Desai knows that. And Ringo could definitely have an opportunity to do that. But I think, he's going to just be a backup corner that hopes to make the team, but he's got competition here, man. It doesn't matter where you're taking, who is the best, who wants to make the team. It's going to make for an interesting 20. And look, what's crazy is, for years, we didn't have good corners. Now all of a sudden we're spoiled. So I'm all about it, man. But let's effing go. Only starting 2 linemen. Yeah, that's why I have it like that. Nakobe and Morrow would be the ones, but look, we talked about it. I will bring you a show with the best free agents. We'll talk about the trades, all that stuff. So we'll see about maybe playing some safety. But, in this zone defense, he could definitely get work as an outside corner. And his shoes really get burned. Look, he's fast as shit. It's just he's got to work on his technique, man. So agree with you. He's definitely got work. There's a reason he dropped. but he's young as hell. Exactly. He's got it, dude. He's got talent. So, hey, if he doesn't pan out, there's a lot of young men that are in this room that will give him that work. So let's go. But try to get through these quick. Deep, he can catch up. Yeah, man, he's got speed. He definitely does. So we'll see, man. We'll see what these guys bring to the table. And Sidney Brown is definitely going to push. As I said, you guys know that was one of my prayers to pick him. He's strong as nails, and I told you I think he will be the starter eventually. So let's see him get that work this summer, and I hope to put him in that spot. But Herschel definitely did. He loved the picks. So that little son of a bitch was going wild. But it really, I can't believe how great it was, Samuel. Appreciate you tuning in, my man. Love you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I hope you tried to stay sane through that damn draft. I know my head is still just ringing. I'm like, oh, because every time a trade happens, I'm like, oh my God, like making a graphic, looking up the logo, getting it in, creating the graphic, posting the words to every effing social media thing, and then getting it to you guys, and then making a breakdown. It was so fun, man. It really was. And I love doing this stuff with you guys. So it couldn't have been any better. But I can't wait. But I'm going to give you guys as much content as I possibly can. What is going on? Yo, Nate, my bud in the house. Hope you're doing well, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. We're just getting done here, though. I'm just getting rolling out. Went through the undrafted free agents. If any of you guys rewatch this, please feel free to comment because I will happily talk to you. We'll continue the conversation. I know it sucks when you guys miss it live, but I'd love to hear from you afterwards. So we shall see. No, not really, but I'd love to win. But this team, it's built to win. So as I said, we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. And I think people are going to jump on. And I told you that, a month ago because I told you about the cap. I told you about the draft picks we had and what Howie was about to do. I told you, if Jalen Carter's that pick, we're going to make something special happen. And if we trade, and look, we made one trade, we got Jalen Carter, but then all those other things that have happened. And then if we make another trade, trust me, we're going back to that Super Bowl and we are winning it. Trust me on this one. Just like I said, we were going to the Super Bowl last year. This time I'm stamping, we're winning the Super Bowl. Mark it down, man. Jot that down. Yeah. Through Christ, anything is possible. Jot that down. Brown is a wild man. Look, I love the kid. You guys heard me talk about him for weeks, especially the last couple of weeks. And the day we drafted him, I talked about how we needed to get him. Love it. I talked about, him playing strong. So as that Sam linebacker, Hassan, there's going to be packages where Nolan Smith is that weak side linebacker. That is definitely going to happen. And that's why if you missed it, Travis, I showed the 5-man front. Go check it out. There's a depth chart. So, man, it's going to be exciting times here. But look, dude, I appreciate that. But if you can't catch them live, Nate, comment, man. I know you guys want to talk birds. I'm always here. And when I see it, I will comment back, man. So appreciate you all tuning in. I got to get going, though. Got a lot of stuff to do. And tomorrow, I think we're going to have that free agency show for you. Going to show you who's still out there, unless you guys want the trade show first. So comment here. Let me know which one you want, and I'll see which gets commented on more. Whether you want trade, whether you want the free agency first. If not, I'll just decide myself. But appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. I cannot thank you enough for tuning in throughout the draft. You guys were awesome, giving me your thoughts, giving me the praise, giving me the shout-outs. You guys, you're too much. I love you all. Third wide receiver, Quez is going to have to step it up, but you got Zacchaeus here. So you got some other young guys, and the guys we just talked about really think, you could look to add a free agent there, but we will talk about that tomorrow. I appreciate you all tuning in. But let's go. Have yourselves a great rest of your night. I hope your week starts off great tomorrow. Go kick some ass. Have a smile on your face. Let everybody know at work, oh, that's right, the Eagles are going to win that damn Super Bowl. Get your bets down. It's time already. That's right. But ladies and gentlemen, I truly do appreciate you all. If you need anything, feel free to reach out. If you're watching this later, comment down below. Let's talk some effing birds. But until tomorrow, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there. And as always, let me hear it, chat. Go Birds!